I don't know, but you're live.
Right. Hey guys, Pitmaster here. I'm here with the Doc.
John, good to see
That's
you.
why
As always.
we're called Pitmaster and the Doc for a reason, guys, and that's it. Because I'm the Pitmaster and he's the Doc. All right.
Sense.
Makes sense. Okay. We're gonna talk about a few things, but the first topic we're gonna cover is UFC Lincoln, Nebraska. Good fights, not the best, but let's cover a couple from the top down. The top fight was James Vick against Gaethje, and wow, this fight had a lot of hype. James was hyping it. Gaethje was Gaethje. Gaethje has a very he has a really dry sense about him. Like, he's not really funny. He is what you see. You know who he reminds me a lot of? Dan Henderson. In both the way they fight and in their toughness and in their demeanor. I think him and Dan Henderson are a lot alike. They both are like really high level wrestlers, but they choose to make very exciting back and forth fights with their fists. They don't do much wrestling at all, and they're both probably. I don't know if he's the highest level wrestler in the UFC, but he's very high level wrestler, and I know for a fact Dan Henderson was as well. But for whatever reason, he just wants to make every fight a war. Every fight he has is fight of the night. Every fight he has is fight of the night. He's a powerful striker. I mean, look what he did to James Vick. Look what he did to Michael Johnson. He KO'd them both, and he in dramatic fashion. And then look at his two last fights before this one. He was KO'd in dramatic fashion.
And he admits that.
Yeah.
He says, my fighting style may be dangerous, but it's exciting. So, paraphrasing, he said something like that.
Yeah.
But he said basically he's going to go, something's happening in his fight. Someone's getting knocked out. And he delivered. This time he knocked out James Vick.
He did.
So what do you break down this fight? What do you think? It didn't go very far. I think it ended in round one. And what do you think of James Vick's plan?
I think it started off well.
There's a lot of front kicks, trying to create or keep him out.
A lot of distance, a lot of straight punches. I think he was right in the beginning. It looked like he's got the strategy down. But his mistake was going against the cage. Once you go against the cage, you got nowhere else to go. If you're Muhammad Ali going against the ropes, you can still lean over the top rope and avoid George Foreman's thunderous punches. Once you go up against the cage, you can't go back any further. So I think he wanted to create more distance, but he felt his head was against the cage. He tried to slide it a little bit to his right, but that it was too little, too late, and he ate a powerful right hand, which was set up with kind of a pawing left. It wasn't really a left hook. It was kind of, he put his left hand out there, and James reacted to that, and he came over with a right hook, basically, and it knocked him out cold. So, beautiful performance. It looked like he was going to go, start his fight like he always does. He just wants to bang. And he did bang. But one thing about him is, I'm sure he has a good chin. I don't know for sure. I mean, he's been knocked out a couple times. Gaethje has. But anybody's going to get knocked out that decides to stand there and bang. It's just, you're not going to stand there and catch powerful bombs on the chin and not go down. And with Gaethje, if he lands a powerful bomb to your chin, you're going down because he has the knockout power. So he's a very exciting fighter. He's probably the most exciting fighter in the UFC today. He is to the UFC what Arturo Gatti was to boxing.
Did you see him jump out of the cage jump back into the cage. He's doing backflips off of the top of the cage.
Backflips off of the top of the cage. Like, how do you do that? That's like, I mean, you got to be so fearless to just jump up there and then do a backflip and front flip. I mean, the guy's I wonder how he was as a kid. He probably got injured like every other day. His poor parents. He was.
And he's an exciting fighter to watch. He's right. I mean, he's like, something's going to go down. Something's happening in this fight. You know, I think he's going to be a fan favorite. He's definitely exciting to watch.
Yeah, and I think
well, we have a clip from it. Did you want to go share this?
Yeah, watch this up there, guys. He kind of paused that left out there. Doesn't really throw a hook, but it's all to set up that power right hand. It is Dan Henderson. That is exactly what Dan Henderson would do in that circumstance. He's like a mini Dan Henderson.
And, you know, he jumped on him immediately, too. He didn't give him any space. He's knocked out before he hits.
Right.
And
that referee, oh, yeah, I got to give it to that referee. That referee was there. That referee, there could have been like 5 more punches and nobody would have blamed the ref because he had to get from point A to point B. But he flew in between them and to save.
I think he prevented. I think he prevented any more strikes to James.
He got one punch. He got one punch.
Did he get one more on the ground?
Right, but then there was 2, 3, and 4 ready, and this referee, I forget his name, but that referee did a hell of a good job.
He definitely got in there fast because Gaethje did not give it. He followed him to the ground.
He really did.
He's got that killer instinct.
He has a killer instinct or be killed instinct, and I honestly don't think he cares. I don't think he cares which one. I really don't. I'm sure everybody wants to win, but I think he just wants to fight and bang, man. He's like brutal. But it was so that was that fight. What else we got? We got
the next fight, the co-main or whatever they call it was the Michael Johnson Andre Fili fight.
Yeah. That was a good fight. I thought Andre Fili won. Barely. I just think he won. People were just saying, some of the commentators were saying, if you go back and count the strikes on count for, the count strike things, but to me, that's not what a fight is. To me, it's how the fight looks when it's going. Unless you miss something like a foul or something, but I thought it was really close. But I think Andre Fili won that fight. I think he landed sharper, cleaner shots. Like when you do the significant strikes or just strikes, it doesn't say. By looking at a number, it doesn't say. Like you can get hit with a significant strike and you can can snap your head back, or you can get caught with a shot that lands on your chin and almost drops you. They're both considered significant strikes. But they're not the same. It's too subjective, and no matter what the numbers showed, I think Andre Fili won that fight, and part of it was that head kick, which almost landed or semi landed a couple times, and credit to Michael Johnson. He's a very tough guy, but
is he southpaw?
Yeah.
I think he's a southpaw. Yeah. He was throwing a straight left, which for him, he's a southpaw.
And they kept talking about that straight left, but I don't think it was nearly as significant as the right leg of Andre Fili. So I thought Andre won. It was a good fight. It went to decision.
Johnson got out of that choke though.
Yeah.
That choke attempt was he had plenty of time to finish that, and he got out of it at the end of that round.
Right, and
which showed a lot of toughness.
It did, but when you're judging, the attempted choke is worth a lot more than him getting out.
Right.
So,
but he also it was a split decision. It wasn't a straight up decision.
No, it was a close fight. I mean, I would complain to myself if I was in the corner of Andre Fili, but it wasn't such a lopsided fight where I would like try to, go to the commission or anything. It wasn't that lopsided. but I definitely thought Andrew Feely won. But like with that said, if I was in the corner of Andrew Feely and Andre Feely and he lost, I wouldn't complain. So, bing. Other than that, good fight. The other fight was Casey against Hill. That was a good fight. Not a great fight. I don't know. There's just something missing in that fight. I thought Casey won. That was another split decision, I believe. And I do not see that happening, a split decision. But Angela did come in a lot, and she threw punches and bunches and a lot of flurries. But to me, they didn't have anything on them. And I thought Casey definitely won that fight. And
there's a nice technique that you have a video of the counter punch. Basically.
Like if you see that punch right there, it's right when Angela is throwing the right leg. Boom. She's throwing a right leg and catching a right hand. You never want to catch a right hand to the face in exchange for a right leg to the leg. It's just the ROI of that is just it's never good, and it makes absolutely no sense because the right leg to the leg might hurt, but the right hand to the face might knock you out. The right leg to the leg is not going to knock you out, but the right hand to your face can. And think about Gan McGee when he knocked out Pedro Hizzo. I couldn't think of him right now, but I could probably look back. There's probably been 10 or 11 fights ended with that right hand landing off of the leg kick. So it's not worth it to throw a leg kick when someone that's taller than you, right? Like is in this picture she's so much taller, and you don't want to stand right in front of them and throw a roundhouse kick where she can land the right hand, and she did get caught with it. It didn't knock her out or even really daze her much. It didn't look like it, but her hands weren't up or protecting her face. So
it was a solid punch, though.
It knocked her back.
It's just a good video clip of that.
It was, and even if it doesn't really hurt, it's a significant strike, and it scores big for the judges. So that was one of the biggest, most significant, telling strikes of the fight. And then there was some takedowns and some other things, but it was a good fight, not a great fight by any means. But then we got the fight before that one. Not that one. That one was
the one before.
Yeah, that was a knockout.
That's Ellenberger and Bam Bam.
Yeah.
Barberina.
Yeah. That was a knockout that just happened too quick, and Barberina is he's pretty freaking brutal. I mean, he doesn't really have a show. You went off on there.
Oh, I turned it off.
Oh, he doesn't really have he doesn't have the physique of a knockout fighter, whatever that means. He just doesn't look like he's in top shape. But whatever he's doing is working, and he's a legit fighter, and he knocked out Ellenberger, knocked him out, and Ellenberger quit after the fight. He didn't quit; he retired, and he's had a lot of fights. He's had like 40 something pro fights. He's put on a shit ton of great fights. He's one of the toughest guys around, and he retired after the fight. He put the gloves on the mat, and it was a really touching moment, and said he can't wait, his family, and can't wait to get back and spend more time with them. And I think Brian Barberina, I don't know what's going to happen with him. I don't know if he's championship material, but he's definitely contender material. He's surprised the shit out of a lot of people, including, I think, the darling Sage. Didn't he beat Sage? I think he beat Sage in his one of Sage's first fights. So that's what I think about that. Yeah, it was one of his first fights, wasn't he? But anyway, he's a contender. He's definitely a contender, and I don't not much more to say about that. great job in his career. Jake Ellenberger, him and his brother were great fighters. So who else we got? We got what round was this one? This is pretty brutal. I think it was in the first round. Well, no, I don't think it was.
It was a body TKO.
Oh yeah.
Was
Oh
it?
well, which one? This one?
No. The one the next fight.
Yeah.
The Figueiredo fight.
I think
And John Moraga.
Yeah, I think.
That was
I
round
think
2.
it was round 2. Good, both of them brutal sluggers, but Figueiredo, man, that guy. John Moraga is such a tough guy. I honestly thought he was going to win that fight, but just because I don't know Figueiredo that much, but man, he's got everything. He's got all the skills down, and I think he was knocking him out already. And then I think what he hit him with a body shot, but I think John Moraga was down already. So that was a good fight, but
he was done after he got hit with that body shot. It was kind of on the right side. They were saying he hit him in the front, but it looked almost like a liver shot, and he was just done. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a pretty brutal back and forth war, and like I said, not knowing Devison, his first name. I never heard that name before. Devison.
He's a Brazilian guy, right?
Yeah, he's from Brazil, and John Moraga, I think he's from he's Mexican. I think he's from either LA or New Mexico or Arizona. I don't know, but he's tough as shit, and I thought he was gonna win that fight. And this guy is a fucking brutal animal, man. Not in a bad way.
What was with that post-fight celebration? Did you see
Yeah,
that?
it was kind of like a longer version of the digging the
Tito.
That was a lot. Yeah, Tito Ortiz.
All right, I've seen celebration where Sage will do a front flip. Oh,
Yeah.
That's cool. Or someone will jump on the top of the cage. This is an elaborate. He's digging a hole.
It wasn't even it wasn't even.
He's burying a body. He's covering it up.
It took 12 minutes. He's but it was like he's digging a fucking pipe hole because it was really too long for his opponent. He was digging one end of the cage to the other. Then he was putting the dirt back. Then he was patting the dirt on the cage.
It was a long celebration.
Yeah, and then he was saying a prayer or something. It was a bit much. I wasn't crazy about it. Who else was fighting? It was a bit. Bro, you need to shorten that one. That was kind of. It wasn't. Yeah, it was doing charades or something. We're trying to guess what he was doing. All right, here's one. Tim Williams.
Eric Anders. Eric Anders has got a lot of hype just because he's from the NFL. He played for #1 Alabama.
Yeah.
And he's been doing pretty well for himself.
I thought Tim won the first round. Second round, he probably didn't. But the fight was up in the air. It could have gone either way in the third round. I remember Tim, I don't know how many fights he has, but he was on the Ultimate Fighter this season I was. And he was a really fun guy. He's a really nice guy. He's 15-5. I don't know. He must not fight very often. I don't know what else he does. Where's he from? But
he fights out of New Jersey.
Okay. Yeah, he was on Ultimate Fighter this season. I think he ended up getting injured and didn't make it to the semis or anything, but he's a good guy. And he had a really the first round he won. He was just going. He was going at it, moving a lot but landing. But then the second round, Anders started gaining more momentum, coming forward more. His strength was taking over. In the third round, he got caught and he hit the ground. Oh, Anders caught his leg and he hit the ground. And he instead of timing it and rolling to his back and trying to pull guard or kick at Anders' legs, he put his hand up kind of in a half-ass way and stood up, but he was 1 or 2 feet away from Anders, and Anders just socked as soon as his hand came off the ground. The second
it was close.
Yeah.
You had to see it from the other angle to see if his hand was even on. So the rule is both hands down or one hand down?
Yeah, it would have been legal anyway, but the point, the thing that almost looked like it wasn't, it almost looked like his knee was on the ground too. Because he was barely standing up, but his knees were completely off the ground. He wasn't even on the bottom of his feet. I don't even know if that was legal. I gotta watch that again. See if his.
Well, we got it here.
I'm gonna see if the bottom of his feet were on
There,
the ground.
we watch it.
Let me see. Let's watch this. Okay. Yeah.
His feet are. He's off his knees.
Yeah, but are his feet on the ground? His feet have to be planted on the ground.
I don't know the rule. So it's
Yeah, I
one
don't know.
hand down is you can kick him?
You can kick him with one hand down, but I don't.
I thought they were debating whether or not that one hand was up yet.
No, it doesn't matter. But it doesn't matter. And they also said it doesn't matter because they're doing the new rules in that state. So.
But the timing. Well, he also mentioned in his post-fight interview, Anders, that he had let him get up twice. So it was kind of the third get up, like he wanted to strike, and then he went after him as he was getting up. So it was pretty brutal. It was a brutal soccer kick as he's getting up, and they just laid him out.
And it was super bad timing and distance perception by
But Anders didn't go on him after that either.
No, he knew he was done. He could tell the way he fell. So, hey, great job, and that's a really, really good lesson, guys.
So what's wrong with this technical getup? He's got his hand in front of him.
Because he's close enough to be kicked. Doesn't matter where your hands are.
He closed the distance, though. He came in on him.
Yeah, but no matter. But he was going in momentum. Unless the referee stands him up, then you can't hit him.
It was brutal.
It was brutal. So it was a little bad call on Williams' side on the distance and the timing. But with that said, any other sport, you make a little bad judgment call on the distance and the timing, you might strike out, or you might not get a basket, or you might not get a touchdown. But in this sport, one inch, right? 1 inch wrong, or 1 split second wrong, you can get knocked the fuck out, and he did. So I feel bad for him, but bang, that's what happens in this sport. So it was a pretty good card, not a great card, but you know, I don't know.
Was there a prelim fight you were talking about? Krause?
James, James Krause, man.
I didn't get to see this one. Did you see this fight?
Yeah, and he's fighting a really good guy, Worley Alves. And he did like a fake kick where he like went to throw a kick and then flicked up and just changed it to a knee. It was fucking beautiful. And his coach Mark Montoya, who also trains Anthony Smith and Dreamy Eyes, Chris Camozzi. He has a really good camp in Denver, and he trains James Krause. And they have been working on this technique in the dressing room and throughout, their camp. He has some videos of them training that same technique, and it worked beautifully. Like, he faked a leg kick and then came up with a knee. So, like, the guy was expecting a leg kick, and then he got caught with a knee, and he got dazed, and James finished him off. Great job. I think James has just dropped down to 45, if I'm not mistaken. Is that what he was? 45? Or 70, sorry. He came up from 55 to 70. Sorry about that. I was mistaken.
That knee, though, was, I think I saw a highlight or something of that. It was right down the middle.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
But if you watch, try to go back, you guys, and watch that. And it's like a knee. It's like a leg kick, and then it's a beautiful technique. Very creative. Like I said, Mark Montoya, his trainer, is doing a fantastic job. He has some really good fighters out there. I know Stepik and him are close, and I think they work a little together. And I know he works with Anthony Smith, and he's doing a great job. And I think Krause is rising right now, and I think he's on a streak. And I see good things happening for James Krause.
Were you talking about a prelim fight that went too long?
And I don't know which one. There was one where the referee got basically suspended for the rest of the night. They didn't even use him anymore.
That was the early prelim?
I don't know which one. I have no idea which one. I heard it was like should have been stopped and it wasn't, and the referee did a terrible job. Any of you guys out there know, let me know. But I want to go watch that one. But I didn't I'm gonna have to go back and look and see. I'm sure it'll be online. But Good fights, not great. Bada bing. I don't know.
We got some upcoming fights.
Who we got? Oh, Till against
That's
Woodley.
coming up September 8th. Yeah. Darren Till fighting again.
Yeah.
What do you think about that fight?
I think it'll be something like Woodley against Wonderboy Johnson. I think Till hits a little harder, so he has to be a little more cautious. But I think it'll be a lot like that. Oh, now they're fighting. Yair's fighting Zabit.
No, they got to fight. So last I saw was to be determined.
Yeah.
So Zabit's got to fight.
Yeah, they were gonna fight, and Yair just pulled out for this one. That should be interesting. Yeah, I'm interested to see that one. So that's that. But we'll be covering all these fights. We did a bully seminar this weekend.
Oh yeah,
60 kids showed up.
It's an anti-bully seminar.
Same
Right.
thing. Yeah.
Right.
Bully-proof seminar. We had like 60 kids, and I don't know, man. I started off just like I just wasn't feeling it for like the first 10 minutes, and there were these 60 kids. I was like, all right, don't get bullied. Yeah, nobody takes your lunch money. And I just wasn't feeling the energy. And then all of a sudden I did. It just hit me. I don't know, one of the kids raised his hand. Something happened. It was like, boom. All right, don't ever let anyone take your lunch. And then, so my thing for kids is don't ever hit out of anger. Don't ever hit over words. But don't ever let anyone take your lunch money. And don't wait till they hit you first. Because so many parents say, never throw the first punch. And that would be as stupid as telling a cop, never take the first shot. I mean, you don't wait till you get punched to punch back. You don't wait till you get shoved to punch back. You wait till you feel like you're in danger, whether it's a kid feeling like he's in danger of getting beat up or an adult where he might be killed. You don't wait to get hit first. You don't wait to get shot first. You wait until you feel like you're in danger, and then you stop that danger, whatever that takes. And, that's hard. That's a hard one to explain for kids because, I mean, it is. But I'd rather get it wrong on the side of hitting too much than get it wrong on not hitting enough and ending up in the hospital. So there's a fine line. I don't want to create any bullies, but I don't want any bully magnets, any bully targets, or any kids that are going to hate their life because they've been bullied in school. I'd rather the kid get suspended than hospitalized. I'd rather the kid get expelled than put in a coma. So, what do you think about that?
How does that go over in this day and age with families, like parents?
Well, like one of the things in schools around here is zero tolerance for fighting back against bullies.
That's not just around here.
Oh, it isn't?
I doubt it. I think it's probably nationwide.
Okay.
So, yeah. So the zero tolerance policy, does that bleed over into the parents?
It sometimes does. So my thing is I have zero tolerance for zero tolerance. And I say it's better for you to get suspended by that teacher saying, don't hit back ever. I don't care if they're beating you and stomping you on the ground and you're in a semi-coma. You do not hit back. That's morally and ethically wrong, and that makes you the bad person. That's what to me, that's what the kids are hearing. And they're scared, not only scared of the bully, but when they get that confidence where they'll fight the bully back, now they're scared of the teachers and the administration. So I don't want any kid to be a bully, and I don't even want them fighting over words at all. Like, I don't care if they're arguing or the kid calls his mom a fat, ugly bitch or whatever. You don't ever fight over that. But the second they're about to touch you or about to attack you, you fight back and you fight hard. And during the seminar, I had tons of parents. And when I started to say that, I said, first of all, do I have any parents here who disagree with me? Because I'm saying right now, do not let the kid hit first. And it's better to be suspended than hurt. If you guys, anyone out there disagrees with me, please raise your hand and let's talk about it. And I had all the kids over here, the parents were over here. Not one parent raised their hand. They go, no, go ahead. So I didn't have one parent disagreeing with what I'm saying. I'm not saying, yeah, he gives you a bad look, beat the shit out of him. I'm not like trying to create a bunch of bullies, but I'm trying to create a bunch of kids that aren't ever bullied. Because being bullied bleeds over to your bleeds. You like that word? Bleeds. It bleeds into your adult life. That kid that's being bullied his whole life, he's gonna turn out to be a bitch, basically.
How many of these school shooters do you think were bullied?
The one that, what it was so stupid was that one. Remember the one with the shaved head girl that acted like she was just a complete. I don't know if she was mentally ill or something, but she was like, yeah, it's guns, NRA. Man, this guy, I knew he was crazy because I used to pick on him. Remember that one?
No, which shooting was that?
The Parkland one.
Oh, wow. No.
Then there was that hog guy.
There was one like today or yesterday.
Yeah, there was one yesterday. But it wasn't a school shooting. It was
an event.
Yeah.
But it's still people that, it was still an event.
It was probably someone that was bullied a lot, and it turns you crazy. You hate your life. You hate everyone. When you're confident and when your kid's confident, he loves life. When you're not confident and you're always down and depressed and scared and intimidated, you hate life. You have to strike back. Like that, like the shooters. Most of the school shooters, they're not the confident kids. They're the scared little unconfident kids that are getting picked on a lot. So do your kids a favor, guys. Have them train in martial arts. Have them build confidence. All right? It's better to be confident. You never hear Joe Rogan saying, whoa, that guy's too confident. You just don't hear that. Okay? But with that said, the confidence has to be backed up with skill. Or as I like to say, you need competence to have true confidence. So they need to have the skill to be confident, right? Or else it's just a false sense of security.
So what do you think happened with Nagano in his last fight? Loss of confidence? Because he seems to have an ego.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think he lost. I mean, that confidence is...
I think there's a lot more to it than that, because he didn't get like just KO'd or, just knocked out cold. I mean, I don't know if it was his confidence level or, I mean...
It was an unwillingness to engage.
Yeah, maybe. So maybe that does have something to do with his confidence, not having, it's not like I'm scared to get hit, I'm scared to get knocked out, but I maybe he was thinking, yeah, I don't hit quite as hard as I thought, and I can't just knock everyone out anymore. So maybe lacking the confidence did prevent him from pulling the trigger more. But it's just
it'll be interesting to see his next fight and how that goes down. I think there's going to be a lot riding on that for him.
Yeah.
I think he might have a fight scheduled. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, but
there's some great fights coming up though through the end of the year.
Yeah, we're gonna be rocking on this one, guys. So keep watching this podcast and make sure you subscribe and share it, because this is the
number one growing podcast with a doctor and a martial arts pitmaster
in the world.
In the world, it is. It's the number one podcast in that demographic.
Thank you. See? Because we're killing it. So anyway, great fights. Don't leg kick somebody if they're close enough to punch you in the face. Don't stand up if you're on the ground if you're close enough for somebody to soccer kick you in the head. And if you have a kid, or if you are a kid, it's always better to be suspended than comatose. And remember that.
I like that. All right.
Thanks.
John, next time. See ya.